And good afternoon. Welcome to History Museum Presents Stories of the Crossroads. I'm John Sellers. It's a beautiful day in the Ozarks. Nice fall day, a little bit of chill in the air, but not enough to make you wear anything more than a sweatshirt. And just pretty. I'm loving it. It's so much nicer here than it is, we'll say, in Denver, where they've got 2 feet of snow on the ground. Mm-hmm. So we'll enjoy it while we can. We're going to talk today about the zoo. It's a zoo around here, but not near as much of a zoo as it is at the zoo, the Dickerson Park Zoo, the zoo to end all zoos. And to do all that, we have the Public Relations Manager and Marketing Director for the zoo, the lovely and talented Joy Powell.
Well, thank you.
Certainly.
Thanks for having me. And you're right, it's a beautiful day, like a beautiful day to go to the zoo.
It is. Are the animals all happy? They make noise and just out there scrambling around?
They are. They're kind of like people. People always say, "What's the best time to come to the zoo?" And think of like, when would you like to be outside? And that's a pretty good answer. Yeah. Except for the otters. The otters don't care if it's 10 or 100. They're happy. They really don't. It could be 10 degrees, and they're like, "Woo, this is fun."
Yeah. Ice.
Or it could be 110 degrees.
Well, the peacocks are always out.
Peacocks are always out. They kind of run the place, and that's one of the biggest staples. I think if people think about it, they think about the peacocks, the free roaming peacocks, and from what I know, they've been there for well over 50 years. And as you know, the zoo turned 100 last year, so big part of Springfield's history. We're officially 101 years old now.
101 years
101.
Old. And 50 years worth of peacocks. So that's why there's 60 some odd of them?
70, about 70 of them, yes.
70?
I'm not kidding, they run the place. They are everywhere. And there's 100 acres for which they could, poop. Yeah. And they always poop either on my car
or on the sidewalk by your car.
Right in front of the door to the office. I'm like, really? It's impressive.
Trying to tell you something.
They are trying to tell me something. I'm not sure what it is, but they are trying to tell me something.
Sending a message you're just not picking up.
I'm not picking it up. That's exactly right. Yeah.
That's funny. So you carry a shovel in your car?
No, I'm just really good at dodging.
Okay.
I always tell everybody it is the most exotic 1.2-mile walk in all of Springfield. Plus, you can get in a little extra cardio because you're dodging peacock poop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that is kind of fun.
It is fun.
It's fun. Yeah. So what's happening at the zoo?
Well, the next big thing happening is the Saturday after Thanksgiving. We are having a small biz zoo-ness Saturday. So, you get Black Friday, and then small businesses kind of jumped on that bandwagon and have Small Business Saturday. So we're adapting that and throwing a little, fun zoo term in there.
Biz-zoo-ness?
And it's biz-zoo-ness. And we're having an open house.
Came up with that, didn't you?
Of course I did, yes. I love, Fab-zoo-less, biz-zoo-ness. Yeah. We're doing an open house at our education department, which is going under a rebranding. We've changed the name of that. It used to be called Zebra Education. And now it is Wildlife Zooniversity. Nick Sibley came up with that out of our jingle. So we just adapted that into the education department. But we've got some great new classes. But if you come out on the Saturday after Thanksgiving, you can get a FOS membership. $10 off all FOS memberships, and then there's going to be specials on the zoo classes. So that's a really, I think people are really into giving experiences. They're catching on that experiences are neat things to give instead of just gifts. And this is a great experience. It's a one-size-fits-all gift, and it's for the whole family. You come out, get it, boom, you're done. Shopping
awesome.
Over.
Right? Yeah. I mean, one size fits all.
All.
Yeah, that's big. Yeah. And what day is that again? That's
Saturday, the 29th, I believe. 29th, yeah, the Saturday after Thanksgiving. It's 10 to noon. You can find out more on our Facebook page and our website, and come out. And if you get a membership or you're already a FOS member, we have a special gift for you as well.
Oh,
How's that for it? How's that?
Gift?
Well, yeah, I'm not going to tell you. It's Christmas. You're not supposed to know your gifts. It's a surprise. Although you strike me as somebody who will probably snuck into your presents as a kid and figured out what you were getting.
I did.
Of course you did. Why is that not surprising?
I knew where they were.
I don't. I love surprises. I always want to be surprised. I love surprises.
Good. Okay, moving on. So what else is going on at the zoo?
Let's see. Well, we have some announcements coming out this week, so I can't share that just yet, but we have some We have some new residents, and we maybe have some arrivals coming soon.
And you can't tell
I
us?
can't.
Then why are you here?
Because you like me.
Oh, well, that's true.
Or because we've been friends for a very long time, and you like the zoo.
Yeah, I do like the zoo.
It's cool. You know, Springfield's just fortunate to have one. I say that a lot, but
Yeah.
for a town this size to have a zoo and to have one that has been accredited and recognized for excellence for over 35
Oh, yeah.
years is really special.
Yeah, it's amazing. The facilities themselves, and the developmental things, the things to the community that they've outreached and done over this last 101 years is, it's like our whole Parks Department. It's just extraordinary.
I agree.
Just absolutely extraordinary.
And you know, some huge changes. So I'm really excited to see just what the next even 10 years. We've made it 101. I'm excited to see what just the next few years. So, you know, we have a new parks director.
Mm-hmm.
We have a new zoo director.
Yep.
And we have a new Friends of the Zoo director. So there's
Wow.
there's a lot happening.
So you're the senior
I am.
employee?
Yes. Thank you for pointing that out.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah. So I mean, I think just some really great people in those positions. And as you know, filling Mike Crocker's shoes was wow, what a tough job.
The Snake Man.
Snake Man. You know, our new zoo director. It's not that he just loves zoos. He loves Dickerson Park Zoo. So Jackson Thompson. He has been. He's been at the zoo since he was a college student at Evangel, wanted to get into zookeeping, and he came out as a volunteer. And he has done everything from drive the train to work in the cafe. And now he's
Wow.
now he's running.
So he
the zoo.
knows where it all is.
Yeah, he does, and he has a gift of leadership. He's young.
Yeah.
I think this was the job he always wanted. I think he didn't expect to get it at 39.
Yeah.
But he's super qualified, and I don't know. It's just a neat time. I mean, like I said, I'm really excited to see where we go.
That's awesome.
And like
Really
today,
is.
I mean, a lot of people don't know we are open year round.
Yeah.
A lot of times they think, oh, you probably are closed in the winter. Well, as you know, a winter in Springfield, it could be
Yeah.
70 or 7.
Yeah.
So that's another great reason to have a FOS
Or like
membership.
yesterday,
Yes.
was the history making day.
Was it?
Yesterday it went from 80 to 13 in one 24-hour span.
Here in Springfield yesterday?
Yesterday's high and low for the day are both the same day.
It was 13 degrees yesterday?
No, not yesterday.
Oh.
But on that day, on the 11th of
Gotcha.
November.
Okay.
In I can't remember which year,
Okay.
early on in the 20th century.
That's okay. I didn't think it got that
It
cold.
was, it was 80, and then the cold front came through and it got down to 13 before midnight.
That doesn't surprise me here. I mean, the weather isn't that slow.
So both the high and low for yesterday were in the same year.
Interesting. Of course you know that.
Of course I do. That's why they keep me here.
I know, I'm glad they do. So, that's kind of cool. Like I said, we are year-round. If you've got a membership on a pretty day like this, just run out with the kids, or even not on a pretty
The animals
day.
get out, yeah.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, they like it.
Surprisingly, lions and the tigers really enjoy the snow.
Oh, my.
Isn't that kind of fun?
When I was a boy, back in my day, there was the Sweeney Hall.
Yes.
Big stone building, and that was pretty much, I mean, that and a few, the cages for the lions and tigers and bears, and then the elephant enclosure for old CC was about all there was. And now when you go out there, I get lost. There's stuff everywhere.
There is. It's really expanded, and you mentioned the lions when you were a kid. One of the things I think we're really most proud about is just the advancements for the well-being of the animals. What the zoo that when I was a kid and when you were a kid, it looks entirely different now, and that's a good thing because it's better for the animals. And a lot is making sure that their habitats, their enclosures, are much better. I can remember as a kid going out and seeing the lion in what we now use as a storage building.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
So there is. It's broken down into continents. So as you journey through the zoo, you're going through different continents. And, that's a big part of zoos, is making sure that the well-being of the animals is top of mind.
Yeah, and the other thing that was the reptiles were in Sweeney Hall.
Yes.
Had the snakes and everything in there.
They have their own building now, Diversity of Life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's one of the most popular
a
areas.
lot of difference. And I hate it that Sweeney Hall's gone though. It was a pretty old building.
Well, you probably remember because we were doing videos to celebrate our 100th, and the oldest exhibit and the oldest part of the zoo we still use today. It was called the Bear Pit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's where the spider monkeys are now.
Yeah.
Still use it.
Yeah. Still there.
Down the back.
And they have a good time in there.
They do.
They're quite acrobatic.
They're very fun to watch.
Yeah.
It is. It's just a fun place. It's a fun job.
Now you still got to train.
We do. It is closed for the season.
Okay.
And any of our, friends of the zoo members or guests that are listening, maybe rolled their eyes on that one. Poor little engine that could really try. The train, we had a lot of issues with it. It is a lot of zoos are going to electric trains, and we heard a lot of feedback from guests because trying to get parts and keep it going has been an issue.
Right.
Something was always happening with it, but the interesting thing that we heard from a lot of the guests is they were like, please get it fixed. They like that nostalgia of hearing it.
Oh, yeah.
As opposed to just the electric train. So it's a big favorite. It's a little miniature train.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. Just amazing. That and the other thing that is not there is the boardwalk.
The boardwalk is not there. You are right. This was the boardwalk in the North America area of the zoo. We call it the Bear Boardwalk, just for short, affectionately, because it's the boardwalk that walks right in front of the bear exhibit, which is one of the coolest exhibits. They have a great yard, and they have a pond, and they play in, and they're very animated. And it was, for our guests that might be in a wheelchair or moms with their dads pushing kids in strollers, it was an easy access, and that has been shut down for over 2 years now.
Why?
It needed to be replaced. It was not safe, so we could not have guests on it. So we are very hopeful that the construction on that's going to be maybe starting soon, and that's probably one of the big questions we get. When is this going to open? When is this going to open?
Right. Yeah.
So we're very hopeful.
Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah. So, what are the new and exciting things that you can tell us about that you don't just come and go, well, I can't tell you?
I know. I know. It was supposed to be a teaser.
Right.
Well, our maintenance department, they're amazing, and they're really working on getting that train up and running, so it will be full steam ahead in 2025. One of the cool things that we have is now we have an event space. The Crocker Conservation Station, which Mr. History Man, you will remember, used to be the deck where there were insects. It was a variety of different things.
Right.
And it was redone last year and dedicated and renamed the Crocker Conservation Station. So we actually have an event space now. It's covered. It's open air.
Right.
But you are covered in case it's drizzling or something. And you can rent that space. So we've had several groups do that.
For parties and things like that.
Parties and things like that. So that's really neat. And it looks out over Dickerson Lake. And we've had some work done on the lake that's helping stop the leakage problem there. So, some of the things that are going on are maybe not that glamorous, but they're things that need to be done. As you can imagine, with a 101-year-old facility, there's a lot to do.
Absolutely.
So that's exciting. And we've been doing zoo buyouts where you can actually rent the entire zoo after hours. And we've already got 4 of those on the books for 2025. People are figuring out, like up for a corporate event or a team building or, your company picnic. And you can have the zoo to yourself for just you and your organization or, whatever. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That really is.
It's kind of neat.
Now, what are the hours of the zoo?
The zoo is open 9 to 5 in the summer. November 1st, we move to our winter hours, which are 9 to 4. And we only do the zoo buyouts during, the spring and summer season, just for the daylight. So, open daily. We are closed Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day, New Year's Day.
Other than that, you're open.
Other than that, we are open.
7 days a week.
7 days a week, year round.
And you're always there.
I'm there a lot. I am there a lot, but I also want to be there.
Well, yeah. It's so amazing the history of the zoo and its development from a gathering of assorted wildlife over in Phelps Grove Park to what it is now is just amazing.
And one of the things I think is really amazing is what goes on behind the scenes, number one, because there's just a whole other zoo behind there. We have a full working hospital. A lot of people don't know that. We have 2 full-time veterinarians. We have an all-female vet staff, 2 veterinarians, 2 vet techs that care for close to 500 animals. They all get checkups. But it's what we do around the world as well. So it's, really try to change a lot of people's perceptions, especially the younger population. We're really finding research is showing that the younger population has a whole different outlook on a zoo than maybe you and I would have.
Right.
It's not always a positive outlook. So I love it when I get to talk to people about what goes on and that there are animals that exist that are still on the planet today because of the work that zoos are doing. And a big part of our accreditation, it's not just about us, is we have to invest and we have to participate in conservation efforts around the world. So we're really proud of that.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it really is.
From the time that they got their first elephant, from the time they got old CC, I've watched that in the zoo a lot, bringing animals here that you wouldn't have expected to be here. Yeah, have you got, I know we've got some photos, but have you got all the information about what was in the zoo and how it got started?
I have a lot. Unfortunately, record keeping and keeping track of things, a lot of it is a VHS tape or a yellowed newspaper that's fading out. And, when we were working on the 100th, you found a lot of information for me. There's so much history. The elephant history was a big part of the zoos. They're really a jewel in their crown. A lot of success there, and it is about making sure that there are going to be animals on the planet. It's not just for our entertainment. There's more to it. The science and the research that as this field has grown into, and the care that they do, and the way that they even handle and care for animals is improved so greatly. It's impressive.
Oh yeah, and it is so adaptable to other things. Just like I had Francis Skaliski from the Conservation Commission on, and what they've done with turkeys and done with deer and done with elk and done with all the other things that were just one whisker away from being gone, like the pasture pigeon.
The bald eagle. Dickerson Park Zoo had a really big role along with MDC and USDA. And we still
that was amazing. Just amazing.
We're approaching getting into where Eagle Days. These are usually in the winter, and so that's something we continue to do. And education is a big part of what we do.
Yeah. So what else is happening at the zoo?
Let's see. We've got our 2025 event calendar pretty well set. One thing that is always happening is we're always looking for volunteers, because we could not do these events or a lot of what we do without our volunteers. So, if you're sitting here thinking that sounds like something's fun.
Yeah, what do volunteers at the zoo do?
So we have two different volunteers. We have ambassadors, and the ambassadors help us with events. They might work the giraffe deck or the petting zoo, or they might help us set up an event or tear down an event. They might take the curiosity card out and have some biofacts and talk to guests. They might, be a person there to help with direction, answer questions for guests that are there during the day. And then after you've served as an ambassador, we would like people to come out and do that for at least a year and learn the ins and outs of the zoo. But we have another level of volunteer, and those are our docents. And they actually train to work with the ambassador animals, and they will take the animals out on grounds when we have special events or just during the day when the zoo is open. They will take them to schools. They will take animals around to libraries, really all around the community and around the state, to do zoo to you kind of programs. And so that's a different, that's kind of one step up. We have a lot of retired teachers. Love doing that. And we're always in need of volunteers.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they
so
do.
I remember now that you used to do that with the raptor program. You used to take that an owl that they took.
We still, so our our zoo educators that work at the zoo full-time,
Right.
they take them on programs, but our programs are so popular that we need help.
Yeah.
So our docents, they are trained and they take birds of prey, they take the birds, we have doves, we have
Yeah, it's an
owls, we have
amazing
eagles,
program.
we have vultures, and they take them all over.
Yeah, that raptor program is incredible.
The
Just
raptor
incredible.
is. We have probably at least one a week that will come in. We'll have MDC agents that will bring in a raptor, or a lot of times just citizens will bring one in. We're kind of getting into that time of year where we'll start to see more eagles coming in. And, a simple thing that I learned when I was just working there is a way that you can help. I always thought, if I'm eating an apple, would think, when you're done, throw it out your car window. You're like, it's not littering. I'm, putting nutrients back in the earth, or there's some little critter that's going to eat my apple core. Don't do that. Because what happens is the little mouse or the rat or whatever comes to eat your apple core, a bird of prey swoops down to get the little critter for his, her lunch or dinner, and gets hit by a car. So
you're pulling them into the, yeah, okay.
And when I heard that, I thought this is the simplest thing to do. I always thought I was doing a good thing, but that's just one of many things that I've learned since I've gone to work at the zoo. Zookeepers are amazing people. I learn something every single time I do a tour. But I thought that's something that's so simple. You think you're doing something good, but we get a lot of birds that are brought in that have been hit by a car, and that's a fairly good assumption that they're swooping down probably to try to catch something to eat. So that's something really simple that you can do. But that's a really powerful thing when a bird is brought in and it's rehabilitated and released back into the wild.
Yeah.
It never gets old getting
It's
to
an
see
amazing
that.
feeling, yeah.
It really is. And like I said, it's at the heart of what we do, that conservation mission. It's a really powerful thing to see. Another really amazing one is when you see an eagle that's brought in with lead poisoning, rehabilitated and re-released, because there's something, it's our national bird, and it's a majestic, if you've never seen a
Right.
bald eagle up close. But when they come in with lead poisoning, that's really sad to see, and so it's remarkable when they are rehabilitated and can be
And they
released.
get the lead poisoning from,
They get it from eating a carcass that's maybe been shot by lead shot, and the dressings left out the dress, or a fish, swooping down to get a fish that may be a lead lure.
wow.
And so that's,
So they ingest that lure or
They can
the
ingest it.
shot and it,
yeah, and get lead poisoning. So do you remember a few years ago when we had the cheetah cubs that were born and we had a naming contest?
Mhm.
One was named after Art Haynes
Right.
and one after Mike Crocker. We did the naming contest. That money raised from that naming contest went to purchase a machine that detects the lead poisoning. And we used to have to send those results off, and it would take up to a week to get the lead level in an eagle. We can do it now in minutes. And so they can start the treatment immediately, and it's really helped. So that's pretty amazing.
yeah, the medical facility, the veterinary medical facility there, I'll never forget years ago, you had a big event and you opened a nursery and another medical area for baby animals. And Marlon Perkins came. And, Marlon Perkins is who you think of when you think of Wild Kingdom and the whole thing.
Usual of Omaha, Wild King, Sunday
and-
nights.
Yeah, and he came and he commented at how for a zoo of the size of community we had, how amazing our medical facility was back then. I can't imagine what it'd be now.
Well, you ought to come out and see it again. It really is impressive. Like I said, it's a behind the scenes, but they don't stop. I mean, with close to 500 animals, there's always something, and every single animal gets a checkup they have their checkups. And then just, like we would do, you don't feel good, and they're
Right.
so attuned to what's going on with the animals. They just notice the slight variation in their behaviors, and so they can watch those. But we had a zoo lover, a donor, that she left some money and wanted it to go to the zoo, and a lot of that went into improvements for the hospital, and it's really elevated the care. They were good before. It's really impressive now. I mean, from mobile anesthesia, because we have animals that are not easy to transport to a hospital.
Right.
So our doctors make house calls and they go to them and they can do all kinds of things.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It is. The medical care is so impressive. The other thing that I think is so impressive is our commissary, where the diets are prepared. I mean, these animals eat so well. Joey, baby kangaroo, I've tried to just work my meal planning in, because it really is meal prep, and it's down to the gram or the pound or the ounce of what they're going to get, and their diets are so healthy. They take they're the zookeepers, the vets, they're very serious about what they do, and they're just really interesting people. I learned so much from them.
It's amazing.
It really is.
Yeah,
And
it really is.
I just always think about it as you're sitting in a big small town, and that there are people, less than about 5 miles from you, that their job every day is to go care for an extremely dangerous animal.
Yeah, yeah. And one that is maintained and habited in a habitat that is conducive to them being relaxed and enjoying it.
And a lot of our rescues,
Yeah.
they wouldn't have made it if we didn't have a home for them. So that's a great feel good. But it kind of gets lost on you sometimes of just how neat and how special what you're doing really is. Like I love this story when I first started, and I do the social media. So I'm always looking for content. And our vet at the time, his name was Rodney. I'm like, hey Rodney, I want to get some videos, some photos for social media. I said, are you doing anything cool? And he goes, no, not really today. I'm just doing a medical exam on a bear. I'm like, Rodney, that's not everybody's normal. X-rays and dental hygiene on a bear. So, it's kind of neat to sometimes just stop and think, pinch yourself of just the things I've been able to do and the things that I've learned. It's kind of cool.